Love hurts.
3, 2, 1, action!
This came along just right before the Oscar. And when I read it, I loved it, but I didn't think I was right for it. So I actually passed on this project. And it was not until, that they came to me and they said, please reconsider because, we're not trying to create your traditional action hero. We're trying to change the status quo and create a new action hero. And I was very intrigued with that idea. And the producers of 87 North and I and our director, Jojo Eusebio, we talked about it, and then I was fascinated. I was intrigued. And thank God, it was one of the best decisions I've made in my career because I'm so proud of this movie. At its core, this is an action movie. And I knew from the very beginning what it would take to make this movie. And also, we were all on the same page. We wanted this movie to kind of pay homage to, those Hong Kong 80s action movie. All the fights are very choreographed. They're very real. And they're very, in fact, we all did the fights ourselves. That was one of the things that I knew I wanted to do. So, yeah, it's. I hope the audience liked it because we make this movie for you guys.
So the airway is okay?
Coming up with all these concepts and the sensibilities of the action, it's kind of inherent. It's already built into us because we all grew up on the same movies. So developing those kind of things with my team we do it all the time, right? So now once we make up that concept, you're like, okay, how are we gonna execute this? So that depends now on your cast. Can they do it, or do they embody that style, or does that character embody that style? So once we figure that out, then you're like, okay, let's find out if they can do it, right? So we design things certain ways to see what their ability is, and if they're fast learners or they're athletic, we can ramp things up. So a lot of it's just like trial and error. But I got lucky on this movie because everyone was a really very physical and athletic. So that part made it a lot easier. It gave us a shorthand already.
Ready and action.
I think we got here by taking some big risks, if I'm honest. I constantly just try to surprise myself with the projects I take on. I never really know what's gonna speak to me until it does. But this one was such a pleasant surprise, not only because I got to work with someone I really admire, Huy Quan, but simply because it was a character I never really thought I would play, but I thought I could be really well suited for. And she was a wonderful playground, if I do say so myself. She's smart enough to know she's not always the smartest person in the room, but she knows how to observe. And when people show them who they are, or English. When someone shows you who they are, you should believe them, and she knows that to be a fact. And she just goes, she follows. I think we have to sort of like let that lead us at times. She's an example of that. And she's also surprisingly skilled. You never know what you're gonna get with her. But again, ain't that a woman?
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Move on.
So happy, couldn't be happier.
My first scary moment is when I met Marshawn Lynch. I was training at the gym, and he came and I introduced myself as Marvin Gable, and he looks at me, points at me, and he says, "I am going to F you up." And I said, "Marshawn, what are you talking about?" I was scared, and my stunt double says, "Marshawn, please don't do that." He looks at him, he says, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm a stunt double." "Well, I'm gonna F you up too." And he was just joking. He could not be more nice. The fight scene that we have together, the kitchen fight, is one of my favorite fights in the movie. And I really enjoyed it. It was the first fight that we shot during production. It was the most challenging fight, but also it was the most rewarding. So I remember that. And of course, honestly, working with everybody. Ariana DeBose, Daniel Wu, you know, Lio Tipton, Mustafa, André. We have an incredible cast. And what's amazing is that everybody did all the fights. You know, our action team trained them. We spent a lot of time in the gym, and you know, there's something really special when all the actors, you know, they threw all the punches and did all the kicks.
And action.
Marv, are you okay in there?
Yeah, I'm just in the middle of polishing my Oscar. Can you give me a minute?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, we shot in Winnipeg, Canada, which, like, if you've been there, it's very, very cold, right? So we did a lot of stuff on set. Like, we started there during the winter, so winter can get to -30. So we didn't do our actual location stuff till it started kind of getting warmer. So a lot of the stuff we built on set. So I like building the sets because we have like more control of all the variables, and I really love the hideout, the LKP, where Knuckles' hideout is. That was my favorite set. I could like sit there all day, right? But being in that environment, it gets you kind of pumped up and excited for, you know, the shooting day.
Sean Astin, ladies and gentlemen.
Huy Quan, ladies and gentlemen. I've known him his whole life.
Yeah.
Sure, right?
Yeah, Goonies, brother. Goonies never say die. Definitely the most challenging one were the fight scenes. All the fight scenes were very challenging. But, you know, one of the very special memories of making this movie is having my Goonies brother, Sean Astin, on set. You know, it's our way of giving a little bit back to all those Goonies fans out there who always wanted a Goonies sequel. So he was a little version of that. It was wonderful to see him again and to be able to share the screen with him. That was really nice. I love him. He's a great actor, and damn it, he steals every scene he's in. You got him.
It's about damn time.
Sorry, brother. Love hurts.